Hello and good morning. My name is Stacy. I work for the Family Resource Navigators in San Leandro, California. I want to thank you for joining me this morning. And today we're going to talk about supported decision-making options for people with disabilities. It's an overview for self-advocates, family members, as well as supporters. Excuse me one second. It's getting warm in here. So the age of the majority, when a person turns 18 years of age, all rights under state and federal law, it transfers back from the parent or guardian to the young adult. What kind of decisions are they going to have to make? They're going to have to make decisions in healthcare, choosing a medical plan, choosing doctors or therapists, medical treatment decisions, understanding the pros and cons of those decisions, accessing healthcare, and understanding how to file a grievance and advocacy for themselves. They're also going to have to make financial decisions, personal budget, bank accounts, credit cards, managing public benefits such as SSI or CalFresh. Education, special education or a 504 plan for school, accessing records, college or K through 12, and disability service in college or in universities. Again, if nothing has already been in place, um, there are all kinds of different options, such as companion options as well, that the once that young adult turns 18, they're gonna be the ones responsible for making all of these types of decisions, even personal decisions, living arrangement, personal relationships, and activities. Legal, sharing their information, applying for services such as regional center or Medi-Cal, signing contracts, when or when not to, and voting. So, how do people make decisions if they need help? Individuals may have others make decisions for them. In this model, one person fills in or substitutes for the individual. Individuals may make their decisions themselves with someone or a lot of support from others. There are options for adults with disabilities and their families in the range of being a substitute for the person with disabilities and making decisions for them, or being a supporter for the person with disabilities and helping them make decisions. So let's talk a little bit about conservatorship. A conservatorship is a court ordered process where a judge decides whether you can care for your own health, food, clothing, shelter, finances, or personal needs. With a conservatorship, the judge can choose another person to make some limited conservatorship or all of these decisions for you. Conservatorship lands on the side of substituting for the person with disabilities. They are the ones who are going to make decisions for them. Conservatorship, a judge can only appoint a conservator if it is necessary to promote and protect the person's well-being. Conservatorship is the most restrictive choice. Conservatorship and people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Limited conservatorships are generally those used for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The conservator may handle just the care of the person or may also manage the person's finances. If they're responsible for a person's care and protection, it's called conservatorship of the person. Excuse me. If they are handling the finance, it's called conservatorship of the finance. So there's 7 powers that can be restricted in limited conservatorship. Residence, decide where the person will live. Records, accessing the person's confidential records and papers. Marriage, consent required for the person to marry. Contracts, decide whether the person with disabilities can either into a contract. They're going to make medical decisions, give or withhold medical consent on the person's behalf. Relationships, exercise or limit the person's right to control social and sexual contact and relationships. Make decisions for the person about their education. Positives and negatives of conservatorship. There is one document, and the parent conservators can find it more straightforward. Some parents feel this is the best way to protect the legal and financial interests of their family member with a disability. There's a clear legal process to follow that is widely recognized. The negatives of conservatorship, it is the most restrictive means of helping a person with disabilities, developmental disabilities. Conservatorships are expensive and can require the help of an attorney, but after AB 1663, which is supported decision making, if the conservator and the conservatee agree, the court can terminate a conservatorship without a hearing. Courts make the decision about conservators, not the family. That's very important. And I often tell people if they are choosing conservatorship, have more than one option. Have more than dad. You still need to have a couple of folks, because we don't think about the what ifs. What if something happens to the people that are conserving the person with disabilities? What if something happens? Do you have a backup plan for that? We never know what can happen. So just keep that in mind. And also that the courts make the decisions about the conservator. It's not the family who decides who gets the conservator. The judge will do that. And you go through multiple interviews for the judge to be able to make the best decision for the person with disabilities. People who are conserved are not safe from abuse or arrest or financial scams. So keep that in mind as well. People that are conserved can also be taken advantage of from the ones we love the most and think that have our best interest in hand. So supported decision-making, which is the new law, AB 1663, supported decision-making is a person with disabilities, intellectual and developmental, making their own decisions with access with assistance from a trusted team that they get to choose. It's not of our choosing, it's their choosing. The team can be family members, co-workers, friends, and past or present providers. The individuals should select supporters who they know and respect their or his or her preference, and who will honor the choices and decisions of the person with disabilities. So with supported decision-making, you make a team of supporters. You can delegate who helps you in what area and when you want to choose for that help to be in, or the supporter to help you. Supported decision-making is not a substitute. It is in support of the person with disabilities. Supported decision making is a team. A person with a disability chooses a team of supporters to help them to understand, analyze, and express their choices. It is flexible. The person with disabilities can decide on a written agreement for SDM or just choose supporters for any decision for any length of time. Again, it is flexible and it is up to the person with disabilities to choose when and where they would like support and from whom. It's tailored. The person with disability chooses how and when they want support. It's adaptable. The person with disability may rely on known supporters other than the written supported decision-making agreement. So again, they could have people on a written agreement that they would like support from, but it doesn't have to be binding. It is flexible. Remember that. You can use whomever you have at that time. If you trust that individual to honor his or her, the person with disabilities, they honor their decision. And the decider is the person with disability who maintains agency and control over their choices. We're just going to help them understand the pros and cons of the decision, talk to them about it, but yet the final decision is up to the person with disabilities. So, positives and the negatives about supported decision making. The positives is it maximizes agency and independence for the person with disabilities. I cannot stress that enough. Free to use or try and easily changed or terminated at any time. Remember, we said that it's very flexible and it is according to the person with disabilities when they would like to use it and with whom and where. If it may reduce the stigma and increase self-esteem for the person with disabilities by allowing them the dignity of risk. Some studies show a reduction in risk of abuse when the person with disabilities have a team of supporters. It gives them that strength to see and know when something isn't right, and then they get to go and talk to someone on their team that they trust. Even if they feel like someone's not being right, they could still talk with someone on their team about what's going on and how they may feel uncomfortable. They can do the investigation, come back to the person with disabilities, talk to them about it. And again, the person with disabilities gets to make the last decision. So some of the negatives is that SDM is not widely known and you may encounter resistance from professionals. Supported decision-making is new to California. It is AB 1663. So you may run into some resistance, but you still are able to acknowledge that I'm asking this person to support me at this time. Even supporters who aren't guardians can hinder autonomy or clash with the person with disabilities over their decisions. Again, it is their decision. It is just our job to give them the pros and cons, help them, evaluate all of it. But yet the last decision is up to the person with disabilities. In some instances, the person with disabilities may not be acknowledged or treated as the decision maker. The focus may be on the supporters. And that's where it's our job as supporters to redirect the attention of the professional back to the person with disabilities. Companion documents, other alternatives to conservatorship. The person with disabilities use other alternatives to conservatorship, which usually consist of written agreements between them and someone helping them. These can be broad, like a durable power of attorney, or they can be specific to an agency or service, such as an authorized representative for Kaiser or Medi-Cal. That's like Medicare. Sorry, that's when people are looking for more of a substitute in this area because they may not be able to understand everything. So they give someone else the ability to make decisions in that area. Kaiser has their own forms for that, and you will fill them out, and the person with disabilities can put their request on that form, and it is honored. It has to be, it's their form. These documents can be standalone or they can be used with supported decision making and process. Most of these documents allow the person named to substitute for the person with disability, but the person with disability has the right to terminate the agreements at any time. These are all of your companion agreements. Again, the agency still, it still stays with the person with disabilities. So if they want to terminate any companion agreement, they're able to do so. Companion agreements can fall in both ranges of substitute and or support. Companion agreements, alternatives to conservatorship. It's a lot less expensive, but it still has the same power. Durable power of attorney gives someone else the ability to make decisions for the person with disabilities. Some of these cover some types of decisions like medical or financial, but some cover both. Authorized representatives is a term used heavily in healthcare. An authorized representative may act for the person on any medical issues, or the person with disability might limit what the authorized representative can decide on. The person with disabilities may cancel or change this appointment at any time. And advanced care directives, we all pretty much know what that is saying for medical care. This is an advanced directive that allows people with disabilities to designate a health agent and make decisions when they are ill, and it allows a person with disabilities to make advanced healthcare decisions. And the advanced care directives for medical care, or excuse me, for Medi-Cal care. And advanced directives allows the person with disabilities to designate a healthcare agent to make decisions when they are ill, and allows the person with disability to make decisions in advance on their healthcare. Common companion agreements, alternatives to conservatorship, is a representative payee. It's someone that is appointed by Social Security to to provide benefit payment management. The person with disabilities can contact Security to change or dismiss a representative payee. Also, there's joint bank accounts, special needs trust, as well as Cal Able. The person with disabilities can set up a joint account with trusted friends or family members. With a special needs trust, the trustee manages the funds. The person with disabilities selects an authorized representative for Cal Able for assistance with financial management of these funds. So we'll talk a lot more about these joint accounts, such as special needs trust and Cal Able and joint bank accounts in the future. But also, if you've never heard of Cal Able, it's a good thing to look into. It is an opportunity for people with disabilities and people who are folks who their income is Social Security income. This is a place that allows you to save money more than the $2,000 that you can save in a regular account. But it also, like it says, it helps you with authorization of representatives to help you pay and manage your bills and finances. But it's also allows you to save more money and you will not be penalized. You cannot be penalized for your account with CalAble. This is a place that was designed for people that get SSI to be able to establish a savings. Positive and negatives about companion agreements. Like with SDM, the person with disabilities can decide who helps them and in what areas. Agreements are voluntary and can be ended by the person with disabilities at any time. They can be low cost, recognized legal process everywhere in our nation. Negatives about the companion agreements, it can be the most complicated alternatives with many different agreements that need to be periodically renewed. And that's just a notarization. It's way less costly than conservatorship. Many of these documents need to be notarized, and these can be challenging if the communication is challenging for the person with disabilities. But you can also take witnesses. So that's another alternative. And also introducing notarizations, notarizing people about our community, the the different devices that they may use to communicate their needs, like an AAC device or a Braille board. So, it's a real good place to really educate others about our community and the way that we can communicate in different ways. Helpers can substitute their choices from the person for the person with disabilities, as these allow both support and substitution. So considering in decision-making options, considerations in decision-making options, please forgive me. Family, I haven't had enough coffee. Families may consider this decision between autonomy, agency, and safety for the person with disabilities. But it is an oversimplified picture. There are many choices that the person with disability and their families to consider, with positives and negatives in them all. But there is no guarantee of safety in any of agreement, including conservatorship. I want to thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and we will help direct you in the right direction that can fit your needs for the person with disabilities. I want to thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a great day.